Welcome back to the Hill on NewsNation. So who's it going to be? Vice President Kamala Harris will announce her running mate tomorrow before they arrive in Philadelphia for an evening rally. As of a short time ago, her campaign confirmed she has not made the pick yet. She met with her top three contenders over the weekend: Governor Josh Shapiro of Pennsylvania, Governor Tim Walz of Minnesota, and Senator Mark Kelly of Arizona. The New York Times calls it the ugly phase, as the popular new nominee gets ready to please some in her party but displease others. And progressives are pushing back, warning Harris against choosing frontrunner Shapiro. Joining us now is Maryland Democratic Congressman Glenn Ivey. Congressman, thank you for making time for us today. We appreciate you. The saying goes in politics that to govern is to choose. And when your party's nominee chooses a VP candidate, it's going to make some people unhappy. Are we getting to the end of the honeymoon phase here?
Yeah, I really don't think so. I think her stock is continuing to rise. And I think the VP pick, you know, the three that sound like they're the front runners are all going to have a positive impact on the campaign. But my sense is that, you know, it's going to be a strong team. They'll be stronger together than they are separately. And it's going to highlight the impact of, you know, Trump's mistake in picking Vance as a VP candidate, too. Clearly, that was a misstep. Clearly, they don't have chemistry. Clearly, he has baggage they hadn't thought about before they made the pick. I don't think Harris and her nominee are going to run into those same kind of headwinds.
Okay, now progressives like Senator Bernie Sanders and others are trying to push the campaign left, right? And Harris seems to be trying to move to the center for this short general election campaign. It seems like these are fights that would have happened in the primary 8 months ago, not 3 months before the general election. Is there tension here between the wings of the Democratic Party? Or there obviously is tension here. How serious is it?
Well, I think it's all will be kept in perspective by all the Democrats who are involved in this. I mean, at the end of the day, whoever she picks, you know, you got Donald Trump waiting to be the opposition when we get to November. And the stakes are so high, I'm not going to get into, you know, the end of democracy and that sort of thing. Although based on some of the statements he's made recently, you do kind of wonder. But I think we'll all rally together. You know, this is one where the enemy is such a significant, well, scary factor. I think it'll really unite the party. And the other piece of it too is the upside with Harris. I think she's just going to continue to rise, whoever she picks up.
Okay, so Republicans are leaning in on this allegation of anti-Semitism in the Democratic Party. But Josh Shapiro's, and to that point, Josh Shapiro's stance on Israel doesn't seem different materially than any of the other contenders. Is there any truth to the allegation that he is getting more criticism on these issues because he is Jewish?
Well, let me start with the Republican attacks on Harris for being anti-Jewish, I think was the phrase that Trump used. And I guess he'd forgotten that her husband is a Jewish American, but we'll set that to the side for the moment. I mean, I do think we always have to be careful with respect to some of these attacks. I think there's going to be some folks out there who don't want to have a Jewish vice president for whatever reason. But I think the point here is that Shapiro has an outstanding track record in Pennsylvania. He's won multiple elections. He's very popular. He would help to lock down the blue wall piece that Harris is going to need to win in November. So whatever all that stuff is, I think will be pushed to the side as she makes her final decision.
Okay, if you were from Upper Marlboro, you would know him already, but if you don't, there he is, Congressman Glenn Ivey. We thank you for your time.
Thank you for watching, and make sure you go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.